it was always a taboo. Like when you're a junior and when you start your period, no one does talk about it, and then it becomes this horrible, like, oh, what happens? And like, I used to swim, so no one spoke about it when you used to swim, and that's another thing in itself, because you have to use a tampon when you swim in. And yeah, if more people can talk about it, hopefully young girls growing up won't drop out of sport, because there's a high percentage of girls who drop out. I think it's between the ages of 14 and 17. And if we can keep them in, if it's not because of a period problem, or if it's not because of anything to do with growing up, like, that's huge. So I was contacted by another athlete about a campaign that is say it what it is and say period. It's taken away the stigma of the word period and what it means. If we use euphemisms, it takes away the power that it has. Young girls will know that it's normal, and we can empower a change in knowledge and understanding and an effect that it can have for women in sport.
So what effect does it have on you? There is still so little research that's been done, but we all know our own bodies, I guess. What does being in your period do to your performance or your training?
Yeah, so it's not as straightforward as the guys, unfortunately. I don't think we can track us in a straight line. I think there are certain times in the month where we're more susceptible to injury, and then when people are on their period, it can mean that training is hard or you feel the effects more. But there's not necessarily been the same amount of research done as there should have been, and we would like to see more knowledge and power going forwards in what we can do as female athletes and how we can train better because of our periods.
Everyone's periods are totally different, and I mean, mine just change from month to month even, but what kind of symptoms do you have, and how does that affect your training or your performance?
Yeah, so I struggle to brace my core more the week before my period, and then I have a lot more fatigue the week of my period. So there's a lot of feeling factors that are going on there, as well as maybe physical ones that we can hopefully get some research on going forward.
Do you have any tips for people managing their period symptoms if they are training?
I mean, ibuprofen can be your best friend. Anti-inflammatories, and always having a hot water bottle to hand is my go-to.